Live from KTTC, your weather authority, this is KTTC News at 6.
Thank you for joining us. Still no plan for frontline worker bonus pay as the Labor Day deadline comes and goes. The Minnesota legislature is still trying to decide how to divide the $250 million fund.
They are looking at dishing out the bonuses to those in healthcare, childcare, the food processing industry, and education, just to name a few. Our Carly Petras has been following this story. She joins us live tonight in the studio. Carly, what does it mean since state leaders missed this deadline?
Well, Tom and Caitlin, the money is still available, and the 9 lawmakers that are part of this working group are still trying to figure out the best way to divide the cash. The deadline was to help speed things up, but it wasn't set in stone.
The big issue is how many frontline workers to include in the legislation.
Monday's deadline for the $250 million frontline worker bonus pay was not met. The 9 members of the working group still have a few things to figure out.
I think the sticking point is really figuring out who those folks are who assumed the most risk.
But there are many ideas the group does agree on.
Everyone in the group, I think, agrees that we would like to see a meaningful award to those folks who will be receiving payment.
Lawmakers also agreed that an income threshold or a state-level tax are not necessary with this bonus.
We know that so many people went through personal loss, they went through financial loss, they took tremendous risks for all of us, and the pandemic is ongoing.
A frontline worker who experienced COVID-19 and personal loss firsthand is emergency medical technician Brianne Bernini.
Sadly and tragically, my husband passed away right as I was done quarantining. So I didn't even get to spend the last 2 weeks of his life with him.
He passed away from COVID-19. She is just one of the many frontline workers who testified in front of the lawmakers.
I just think that most of us can't really understand what that was like for them. And I'm grateful to be in a position where I can get a little glimpse behind the curtain and really see and try my best to understand those experiences.
As for what happens next with the Frontline Worker Fund, lawmakers are hoping for a special session.
The governor does not want to call a special session if Republicans are going to fire Health Commissioner Jan Malcolm, who has led us through this whole pandemic. And so the governor will be looking for, I'm sure, a signed agreement from Senate Republican leadership that they will only pass this frontline pay workers bill. They will not take up firing commissioners.
But the state Senate must find majority and minority caucus leaders before any type of agreement can be made ahead of a special session.
I would hope that the governor would not use other things, other items that he would be concerned about as an excuse to not get this done for Minnesota workers.
The next special session would likely be at the end of this month, but lawmakers say they do not think the frontline worker pay bill will be ready by then. Back to you.
Thanks, Carly.